We are live. All right. So, welcome. My name is Chantel Salmon, and welcome to the Light Body Living Podcast. Uh, yeah. So, this podcast is an interesting one. I wanted to start doing a little bit of case studies with you, things that I go through in clinic, see what resonates with you, and you can give me feedback as well as we are talking this through. So, um, one of the things that I really like to do, especially dealing with cancer patients and diabetics, um, we have I have protocols that I run through. So there are four things that I like to really get them into um, as we are changing up their diets and getting them cleansing and this kind of stuff. So I want to kind of go through what happens for these patients when they come through the clinic. So first, let me introduce myself and talk about the clinic a little bit. So yes, I said I'm Chantel Salmon, and I'm an iridologist, a herbalist, and a raw food chef. And I integrate those things in my clinical practice. So um, I like to see people going from not knowing what's going on in their body system, getting the eye reading, so you get an overall um, view of what's going on in your system. I tend to focus it in on the chief complaints that you're dealing with, and really start to focus in on what you need to get those things right. So, or balance them out, as they would say, right? So, if you're a cancer patient, if you're diabetic, somebody dealing with sugar issues to any extent, um, this podcast is for you. So, when we do the eye readings, you can definitely see when the pancreas is in crisis and the activity is not producing enough insulin. You do that in combination with the intake form, where you're finding out more about their family history, their history, how they work, how they eat, what's their weight like, their blood pressure. All these things are done at the beginning of the I hope y'all can hear that. At the beginning of the clinical introduction, so we can get to know each other better. I think I'm going to start over just in case that did not go across live. I just noticed that the mute button was on. So good evening. Welcome to the Light Body Living Podcast. My name is Chantel Salmon. I'm an iridologist, a herbalist, and a raw food chef. And I have a clinic called the Light Body Holistic Clinic right here in beautiful Barbados. And I've been practicing for about 27 years. Uh, and my 25th anniversary of the actual kitchen, Organic Earth Kitchen, within the clinic is coming up for its 25th anniversary come next year. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I can showcase quite a number of things for our 25th anniversary. But today I wanted to talk about um, what I do, but from the perspective of dealing with cancer patients and diabetics, people that their sugars need to be well managed. And this is something that I focus on for myself too, because it runs through my family on both sides, male and female. And it has been something that I have had to deal with personally. So when it comes to the clinic, you usually see what's going on in the pancreas through the eyes. Um, People come in usually, and we do an intake form where we find out all those general things, so I can get an overall view of what's happening with them, what kind of work they do, what they eat, surgeries, what medication and supplements they're taking, lack of exercise or um, lots of exercise. Um, children, married, not married, the stresses of their lives. You find out about their siblings and stuff like that. And all this gives you a really good overview of what's going on with that person in a snapshot of their life. And you put that together with what you see in the eye reading, and it really gives you a good idea of um, what's happening in their body system right now. And then I turn around and focus in on the chief complaints. Now, I noticed of late, and I did do a podcast on this earlier. I noticed of late that there are quite a number of people coming in where they're dealing with cancers, they're dealing with managing their blood sugars. And I just wanted to do it's almost like four little hacks that we do when I'm dealing with those particular clients to help round out their particular protocols. So we definitely have herbal teas, tinctures, shake powders, which are sweet potato based, and we put together my signature cleanse is a green cleanse. So it really helps to balance out, bringing down the blood sugar in the bloodstream, as well as blood pressure. So now you're starting on a trajectory of transformation and resetting your system. And what happens after that is what is really what we're going to be discussing today. Now, one of the first things that happens with the meal plan is that I go through and I have everything laid out in terms of protein, starches, how people typically look at these things. Um, and you put out that list, and then I usually take off the things off the list that would relate to their problem. So you would have a person presenting that they might tell you their chief complaint is that their blood sugar is not under control, or obviously, um, you might have somebody coming in that they have colon cancer and they are dealing with their doctor, but they want to do something else, breast cancer, prostate cancer. They come with cancers in different places, and you put together a meal plan for them. But obviously, I take the pictures first, so you can see that other things are going on. So you can see how the spleen is dealing with cancers. You can see, and the spleen gives off those white blood cells that really help to fight and defend your body system. So it can be in an overactive position. You can also see things like you can see a wide number of things. So from sinus congestion to water retention, circulation issues, um, nervousness, anxiety, acidity in the stomach. So you deal with or I deal with the things that would be related to their chief complaint. You want them to be digesting properly. So because it doesn't make sense putting in giving them all this medicine and stuff and it isn't getting to where it needs to go. So one of the first things you want to do is give them the cleanse, because a cleanse is one of the best ways to start improving the nutrient absorption. So that's a good place to start. And once you get that working, then you want to work now on um, giving the nutrients that they really need and cutting down on the ones that they don't. So you start with the cleanse, and then the next major thing that I would focus on is is their breakfast. What happens for breakfast? There are a couple of steps we do, but let's say the breakfast is more of a savory breakfast. When you do it more savory than sweet, there's hardly any spikes, um, and they tend to stay satisfied longer. So You want to you want to work on that. Now, the first question most people are going to have is, well, what is a savory uh, breakfast, right? And savory breakfast could be different things. One of the things I tend to focus on is green drinks, green smoothies, and a savory one. In this case, will be something where you're focusing more on berries, whether it be guava, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, um, chia seeds. You're definitely doing your leafy greens. You can put in some cucumber, some avocado, um, a little lemon juice if you want. Um, those things, parsley, those things are really good for a savory kind of smoothie in the morning. You can do a chia pudding, and you can combine this now with different sliced almonds or a little coconut jelly so that you keep it savory, right, and not sweet. You can also do cereal. I like to make my own little granola cereals with. I tend to focus more on seeds than on the nuts. So pumpkin seeds, coconut, um, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds. You do that in combination with a nice nut milk. Obviously, I am more on the medicinal side, so I like doing nut milks that will help my cancer patients. So it's a Brazil nut milk with a bit of apricot kernels, depending on where the cancers are. And sometimes I actually make a tea for that milk. So you can do a simple one or an easy one. Obviously, for me to be able to get would be soursop tea. Make the milk, build it out from there, and then add that to your shredded. Um, you can take it and grind it down so it's easier to chew on, and you can put that milk there and let it really soak and become thick and rich. And you can have that. You can sprinkle a little bit of spirulina on it. Um, if you need to have that sweet taste to it, you can do a little touch of stevia, but you keep it more savory than sweet. Um, just looking at my notes as I'm talking, some people need to actually have a more physical meal when it comes to breakfast, and a wrap is a good place to start to you can have that for breakfast if you need something a little heavier. And I like to do my wraps. They have lots of different wraps out there now, but my collard green is my go-to. And then you can put lots of veggies in there, from bell peppers to carrots. I tend to make a little nut paste for my wraps, and this is something that you will see on my community site, um, Wellness Warriors, the House of Wellness Warriors. We've done some wraps and so on, so you'll see some of the videos up there. And you can put a few nuts and seeds in it. Um, but this really helps to keep the blood sugars more under control, and this is important when you're going through um, dealing with cancers or diabetes. You also want you can do stuffed mushrooms, stuffed bell peppers. You can do the other things tend to they're not more breakfasty items. But this is something, you could do a nice little nut pate with some sliced cucumbers to have that in the mornings as well. But you really want to keep it savory. The other one that I like to do a lot is once I get my hands on some ackee, it's ackee with oyster mushrooms. So you take the oyster mushrooms and you flavor it kind of fishy, in the sense that I like to put it with seaweeds, maybe a little bit of lemon juice, celery, and ackee, and make a nice savory dish with that. And that just goes along the line of some of the one of the traditional things that we do in the Caribbean. So it has that ackee and saltfish kind of flavor. So that's one that you can do as well. And once you get past the savory breakfast, then you want to do something now to maintain it as the day goes along. And your heaviest meal should really be at the lunchtime, you know? So one of the things that you can do is have a nice big glass of vinegar water. So you take in your apple cider vinegar and put in a tablespoon of vinegar in that water and drinking that water before the meal, because it helps to reduce the spikes in blood sugar, as well as improve your digestion. So that's one that you can do. And obviously, I'm into high raw, so I would prefer that you do a meal that is like cauliflower rice, cauliflower coconut rice. So the coconut really gives it its flavor. You can put in some onions, some thyme, some nutritional yeast, and that kind of stuff, with some lentil sprouts. And then you can make a nice mushroom stew to go with that. So you take the mushrooms and you marinate them, dehydrate them, and bring the two dishes together, and you have a wonderful meal that is tasty, but yet it's not going to in any way spike your blood sugar, and the nutrient level in it is quite high. So your absorption of nutrients will be quite dense. And then you want then to, there was a fourth one. No, I think we're at number two, right? So yes. Well, the thing is that the fourth one, for those people that are not able to do high raw, and they're doing, um, you know, they're still eating some fish, they're still eating some different types of proteins and starches. You want that they start with the vegetables. So the vegetables are very important because that network of fiber really helps to slow down the absorption of sugars into your body system. So this is one of the reasons you start your meal off by eating more of those veggies first, okay, before you eat the other things on your plate. Um, it's like when you go to dinner and they bring you salad first, you have the salad and then you have the rest of your meal. It makes it quite a lot easier for you to digest that meal. Um, and then the next thing is, or the last thing is, that is important is moving after the meal, getting up and they used to call it, you know, having a little constitutional. You go and you have a nice little walk, or just clean up the dishes, start moving around for the next 10 minutes after your meal, so you really get the meal moving through your system, instead of being sedentary. That's also important to this equation. So you got four things: savory breakfast, vinegar water before your heaviest meal in the middle of the day, which you should have it between like 12 and 2, and eating your vegetables first, and then making sure and move around at the end of your heavy meal, so that you can really get the digestive juices churning in there. So this is just some of the little tips that you get when it comes to part of the program that you go through at the Light Body Holistic Clinic. So you're starting off getting your iridology reading, and then you are turning around and um, doing your cleanse. So most people come through and do a 3, 5, or 7 day cleanse, and this cleanse for us is a combination of things. So yes, you're not eating for those 3 days or 5 days, but you're doing green juices, and the protocol includes herbal teas, which are targeted to clean your blood, clean your bowels, and then we have different shots, which depending on what's going on with you, the we do a aloe vera lemonade, which is to soften up any compacted stuff. Then we have the flu shot, and we have the kombucha to put back in some of that good bacteria. I'm really into ferments. I'm into um, live ferments, and so we either do coconut kefir or we do kombucha. I'm now getting into combining mushrooms with the kombucha, and that has been fun. I did my first large batch of reishi kombucha because you have to, get the reishi at that kind of level. But I did my reishi kombucha, and it came out really nice, and I am quite happy with the results, and looking forward to making more through the year of 2025. Um, that is going to be one of my things for the kitchen, that the kitchen is going to be putting forward as a little gift or give back to people. I have been in this year doing reishi tea. We do combinations, but lots of people have been coughs and sniffling a lot. And we do a thyme, bay leaf, and reishi tea for most people coming through the clinic. And I will continue to do that. I have been using the cooker to get my mushroom tinctures ready. So I have been in the last couple of weeks doing reishi doula extractions, maitake doula extractions, lion's mane, and turkey tail, so that whether you're a cancer patient and want, because I do have two different tinctures. I have one that is dandelion root based, but it does have in turkey tail, soursop, and a few other things in that formulation. And then we have the turkey tail by itself in a dual extraction. And for those dealing with things like menopause, we have the maitake. Um, um, I have a friend that came through the clinic that she's dealing with ovarian cancer, that reishi has been working well for her. We've had the dandelion root one working well for a lot of people with prostate issues, especially when you don't want to deal with the chemotherapy. But like I always say, you need to combine these things with eating well, doing a cleanse. Um, I usually recommend that people do they start small, because depending on where they are and if they're weak or strong, you would do the cleanse to suit their dynamics. Okay, but you want to get yourself to a point where you can do a 10-day cleanse with ease, and you do it 4 times a year, or you do the whole 40 days one time, depending on the level of your maturity when it comes to fasting. And in either case, um, getting a chance to do 10 days 4 times in a year, and in between they eating really clean and eating high raw is really what you want. Okay, by the end of that year, now you're taking your digestive system to a whole new level. And I like to introduce people from early into the ferments so that they can start improving their gut health. So you want to improve the nutrient absorption on one hand, but you also want to be absorbing and changing out the bacteria from your mouth to your anus at the same time. And cultured foods, we do, yes, we do the kefir, but we also do sauerkraut and with different kombuchas. But the kombucha that is the most popular one that we do is sorrel kombucha. I like doing calabash kombucha as well. That is one of the most flavorful kombuchas I've ever made. I love it. And I have been reignited to work on more mushroom dishes. And this is where the kombucha has birthed from that, the Reishi kombucha. But you've looked at some of my podcasts and you saw Darren down here a little while ago, and I was part of his contingent of chefs dealing with mushroom dishes for the retreat he had. And I enjoyed that immensely from doing being able to do the sauce and the burgers and the um, meatballs and realizing how integrated mushrooms are into my whole program. I was just looking back at um, some videos that I had gotten done in my kitchen of some recipes that I'm going to put up in the Wellness Warrior site. And I'm putting it together now. And one of them was stuffed mushrooms, and we did it with, I did it with pink oyster mushrooms, and that came out really nice, tasted wonderful. Um, we did breadfruit nachos. Breadfruits were in season. We use kind of yellow meat breadfruit, but the fact is we let it ripen. So when we did the chips, it had wonderful flavor already. We didn't have to flavor it. And then we added a mango salsa and this kind of thing. And that would be a dish now that would be more for not for cancer patients. Okay. And we would do, I use the pink oyster mushroom to do um, like Caesar, a moringa Caesar. So that's something that you can use it in. And some of these recipes are up in the House of Wellness Warriors. So you can check out our site, which is organicearthiraw.ca. And you can see, you can do some consultation with me if you want to. You don't have to do the iridology, but you can do a 30-minute consultation and we can go through how we can get you on your way in terms of helping you redirect what you need to do um, to get the transformation that you're looking for. And we have some courses and the membership. Right now, it is for a limited time, it is 75% off. So you're talking now about like um, in Barbados dollars, about 14.95 a month, and you're getting recipes, exercising, meditation, motivational talks, all kind of things going on in our membership site. And we're going to be focused on building up that membership for 2025 because I'm still growing. I only started it a couple months ago, so we're still on the trajectory, upward trajectory, getting people in there. So this is the time where it's best time to join and make your voices heard. Get get in there and put in your 2 cents worth. You know what I mean? See all the videos, but I want to get people sending me pictures of the wonderful things that they're doing in their kitchen so we can support each other, keep each other accountable, and move the needle forward for all those people that are interested in being high raw. That's really we want to where we want to go. Um, so we talked about just recapping a little bit. We talked about the savory breakfast. Um, we talked about using the vinegar water before lunch, starting off your meals with veggies, um, whether it's steamed, stir fried, or salad, exercising for 10 minutes after your meal. Um, all these things are extremely important. Um, and that goes along with um, using the dandelion root elixir or the turkey tail spirit. We have our own cancer care, um, our cancer care powder, which actually that powder we use a lot of local herbs in there. So that one has in like our gully roots, our soursop, you know what I mean? And these are different herbs as well as dandelion and so on that go into a powdered form. Sometimes even hemp powder goes in there so that you're building up and using something that is nutrient rich, because sometimes we get clients coming to us to the point where they're not really having a good appetite, so they need to get a liquid meal that is quite nourishing. One of the other things we do to really lift people's energy levels is sarsaparilla is very good at energizing as well as building your blood up. Um, we like to also use papaw juice or steamed green papaw as one of your vegetables, but we juice the papaw leaf and add it to some of the green drinks or to the um, green juice that we do for your cleanse. So we're building you up in that way. So I like to use, depending on what's going on with the person, cilantro, shadow benny, parsley, dandelion, papaw. Those are kind of our go-tos. Um, when we're dealing with, because we talk about this in different podcasts, I'm also a big fan of parsley. Um, So that's where parsley and flax chia is where I focus on to get your omega 3s. Um, but we have a wide variety of people coming to us right now that we're getting ready to do some lunches for on Thursdays that have cancer, the breast, groin, colon, you know, and they want a lot of high raw foods, but they need it to be nutrient dense. Most of them have done cleanses a myriad of times with me, and they're now getting into the food aspect. And for our 25th anniversary, we're going to be doing some free workshops so you can really see how to prepare it, but mainly taste it. Because I think a lot of people in their head, they just think it's rabbit food, it's not sustainable, it is, I'm going to be hungry in 10 minutes. And so you want to make sure that you're letting people know that this food is extremely tasty, is nutrient dense, um, and that nutrient density makes it um, satiating so that you don't need anything after that. When you come into a workshop and you start out with getting a wonderful juice to get you started, you get a soup or something that is very satisfying, or a soup and salad, and then you get the main entree, and then after that I do some kind of savory dessert. um, and this is where um, sometimes I would introduce people to other sponsors and other people that work with me or that we sell their products. Like there's a product called True Sweet that it is a great combination that does not raise your blood sugar. It's actually made in Barbados, and they put out three types of three types of the way the sugars are made. So it is powdered, granulated, and liquid. So you can put them in different things. So you imagine being able to use that and make you a beautiful mousse, a soursop mousse, or to keep it nice and savory, you can do it because berries tend to be low in sugar. So I tend to focus a lot on guava, and guava to me pairs well with tomatoes. So I do a guava tomato sauce. Guava is nice as a mousse, guava sorbet, okay, and you can do pineapple cream on top. Okay, and you're mixing that with a nice fat, which will be coconut jelly, and you can get into quite a number of savory dishes from breakfast to lunch to dinner that are tasty and nutrient dense. Um, from building out your cereal to the milk that you use to the lunch that you have to having something light in the evening time or just doing your cancer care shake. You can round out your day, and on top of all of that, you can turn around and have it within a window of time. Because that's another thing that we do, where we get people doing basically an 8 hour window or a 6 hour window where they eat, and then the rest of the time they're not eating, and that also helps with the transformation because you want that they rest their system so it can do its job. It's got the nutrients that it needs, and it starts to work on putting it in all the right places to really help to build the immune system and to really fight and transform you. And the importance of not eating, of fasting, of taking time to let the food truly digest is also important. So keep it light in the morning, light in the evening, and a heavy meal in the middle of the day is really what you want to accomplish. Um, Most people have um, routines that they've already built in, so it takes a little time to break those. And this is where we have the course Cleanse, Nourish, and Reset. That course is for you to really take you down, taper you right down, get you off the heavy meats, the dairies, all the way down to eating raw food and then doing a cleanse. So if you want to do it in 30 days, that is a program that you would do. And we have other courses that will be coming online. So the same thing that we might be doing in the community, we will do in a longer version in teaching you to become a chef for yourself so you can learn to make these dishes. So we're gonna um, do one and even a ebook where we can put together just the savory dishes for those people that need to do it, and that's going to be coming this year. um, we do have some other ebooks out, but I'm going to do one specifically for sugar, right? So that because everybody knows now that sugar, that cancer cells like, they keep growing and they are looking for sugar to keep them and sustain them. So the better that you can keep that under control, and for diabetics, the better you can keep your intake of fats low. Those things will keep the balance of your blood sugar much more balanced. Getting out doing some strength training, some walking, any kind of movement or exercise, just not having a sedentary lifestyle is what you want. You also want to get into routines and be consistent with those routines, okay? And that's something I always am talking about. You need those routines. Those routines are extremely important um, to sustainability of making these changes, because you don't want to start making these changes and then just go off track because it's Christmas or because it's your birthday or because it's Friday. You know what I mean? You can't really do that because other things starts to become a problem. Like I said, when you do the iridology reading, some of the other things start to raise their head, and this is where complications set in. And once that happens, you find it a lot more difficult when your family sets in and everybody is giving you their advice. Um, People get very off track, and this is where unfortunately they lose their life because they find it very difficult in deciding their future forward. Um, and I would prefer that we do this in a more preventative manner. So, for all of you listening, whether you're cancer free, you have cancer, you're dealing, the answer to it is still the same. But for those people and your family members that are coming forward now, and you're seeing them in a lot of cases eating the things that you were eating long ago, and now you're having this problem, it's better to advise them to change their diet. You don't realize how much this affects you. It affects your mood, your it affects you mentally, physically, spiritually. You can see the stress lines, the anxieties that go along with these things in the eye readings. And it is wonderful to see the changes that occur as well. So you can call us down at the clinic if you're here in Barbados, 426-7521, or you can check us out online, join the Wellness, the House of Wellness Warriors, or you can set up an appointment um, to talk to me online. They have 30-minute slots that you can pay and come in and talk to me. Okay? So I think I'm going to wrap it up for this evening. I hope that this was informative for you, and it would be wonderful for you to drop in and see what we have to offer at the Light Body Holistic Clinic. Remember, we have a wide variety of tinctures. The mushroom tinctures are just the latest in the line. Nice fungi collection. And then we have different herbs that we also do um, for different problems. We even have herbs for tinctures for anxiety. I talked to you earlier about the sarsaparilla. We have hawthorn to help strengthen and support the heart. We have um, we have elixirs as well as spirits. So the spirits are single herbs, and the elixirs are combination formulas. We also do herbal teas specific to your circulation, your if you're getting stomach acid and reflux. We do have something called DEB, which is a digestive enzyme bitters that you can also use to help you to digest your food better. Um, we have a range of um, the herbal teas, the tinctures, but we have a line of powders as well for your memory to help you to slim down. There are meal replacements, so we tend to do those in the afternoon time. And obviously, we have the cancer care, and we also do herbal teas for blood sugar, blood pressure, um, your breathing. So there is a variety of things we make in our apothecary, and I actually spent this afternoon making a salve. I've been very excited to make this salve. I made one before where I focused in on joint pains because so many people were coming through with aches and pains in different joints, and I wanted to make something herbally to help people with nerve pain. So I've been working on that, and I combine that with the lion's mane to really work on the nerves. So um, it's been a little while in coming, but I got the opportunity to go away and get some of the herbs I need and to combine them with the ones I have here that we cut and sift. And now I can put together some formulations that I'm comfortable with when it comes to um, up leveling what we do when it comes to memory loss, because that's a big problem here. Um, Dealing with testosterone and men's issues. We have a tincture called Roots, where we put in, there's a combination of things like nettle root and so on, but pine pollen has been added to that formulation. So it's been good to see that we've been able to help more people with a combination of different herbs as well as tinctures as well as powders. But like I said, we always start with a cleanse first, okay? And then we go from there. So, thank you very much for joining me and listening to this podcast. And we will be back next week. Take good care of yourself.